But it's crazy, man, because the way that we've actually been indoctrinated is like the worst of the worst. Because everybody else, like if you look at our numbers in the United States, our literacy rate for us to be such a super developed country, we're dumber than a lot of people. And I don't see why they keeping so much basic information from us or overcomplicating it. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
And you bring up a good point. Actually, a couple of my colleagues earlier today were talking about what you were talking about. Some new things that they were learning. Their kids were learning on how to solve math problems. And I didn't really dig into the weeds of what it was. But I'll ask for more information about it tomorrow to see what's up. But to go back to what you were talking about as far as learning, like even Blake kind of elaborated to that a little bit. Part of what I've been noticing with a lot of families is that they start at a very young age with these kids, and I don't necessarily know if they even know what they're doing. But like some of them start off with their kids going to these private schools, very religious centric. In part, it's sort of an effort to sort of drive away from a lot of the educational material that's being driven in a public school setting, such as like how evolution is sort of a big thing whenever you get into a public setting. But something like that wouldn't necessarily be taught if you were to go to like a Christian school. And it's not just at that point. It's also sometimes whenever kids are brought to churches with their parents, and even though they don't really have much of a choice, with it being their parents. Like sometimes I think that really at that point of an age, at like 5, 6, 7, I don't really think that the kid really has a good grasp of critical thinking. They haven't developed that far to really know what's actually going on. So they're just, as the information is being given to them, as they get older and older, this is just going to be what they're familiar with, and this is just it's going to be less of what they've learned and more of now it's a way of life. This is just this is how things are, and when you question them after the fact, it's not necessarily going to be it's not going to be a well thought out process of how. Or well thought out story of like how they got to this point. It's more this is just what I grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
This is just the way things were. So I think that really sometimes some people or some parents should really just take some time to just really just let their kid work up to that process first, instead of the other way around where they try to catch their kid at a very early age in order to make sure that they're a part of their religion. And for some parents, I know that they're trying to do the best that they can. They're trying to be good parents and everything.
Mm-hmm. Support them for that.
But in part, you really in a way sort of tear away their freedom to really choose in this regard, because it's sort of a hard process really after the fact, where whenever they get in a position where they're challenged on some of their positions. They're put in this really awkward situation, in this awkward battle with other people of other competing religions. And they're not put in that situation. They were never put in that situation initially. They were really put in a circle where everybody really agrees with them. So I think it's really for their best that they really develop their critical thinking skills first, and then they after the fact choose to get into that. But if you do it the other way around, it's going to be a bumpy road for them several years down the road, especially when they go to college and they get into a situation where like they're around a bunch of poor liberal kids, and be like, well, shit. Not everybody around here is Mormon. We got a bunch of Christians. You got some kids. You got this right here, and parents gonna be like, oh no, don't be listening to all of that. No.
Well, I think sometimes we as parents, and I can vouch for it. I'm fucked up just like everybody else in the world. almost take away a kid's critical thinking skills by even just saying these few words. Don't question me. Do as I say.
Ooh, ooh.
I mean,
Bro, check this out.
think
You know what they say? You know they say don't question God.
Yep.
But you give me. It's funny. They tell you, oh no, don't question God. If it's in the Bible, it's true. But it's like, how can you say that if it's in the Bible, it's true? But you tell me don't question God, but I can question everybody else. But God lives in us. So,
Hey, that's
like, it's funny because if my thing is this, if God were to step in and affect my free will, now I have no questions. Now that means He doesn't love me, according to what they say. Because if God is love, and He loves us so much that He gave us free will to make choices and decisions on our own, and He intervenes in that, then where is that? What does that leave us as far as choice? Like, you give us free will, and yet if I try to commit suicide, you stop me. Like, wait a minute, what? That means you're taking my free will from me. So
I mean,
it's interesting.
I mean, it's one of those things. Like we as a parent, because I always say, like your first form of education is what we learn from our parents and what we learn from people we mingle with. So if your parents automatically tell you, don't question anything I say, do as I say only, I'm already getting you started to be like, okay, I'm only going to do what I'm told, and I'm only going to learn what I'm told. And I'm going to just go based on the feedbacks, type of thing. Okay, if I get positive feedback, okay, that's good. If I get negative, okay, that's bad. And the thing is nobody really wants to look into that. Or, because I would be like this, the first thing I always say is that if you tell your child to do something, you should explain to them, okay, this is why I want you to do it, but if you have questions, please ask. And I will try my best to answer those questions. But we don't say that, even in school. Matter of fact, since we all been to college, how many times have y'all pissed off that professor because you started questioning something he was teaching you? You asked too many questions.
Honestly, I'm gonna say I didn't, and only reason I didn't ask any questions is because I'm gonna be completely honest. I wasn't really in class that much. I went just enough so I can do what I had to do and stay eligible for football and all of that old stuff. I passed enough, to get to the next thing. But this is what I didn't like. I hated the know-it-all kid in college. I swear to you, I could not stand the know-it-all kid because I've seen what a teacher would actually check the know-it-all kid. But this was one of the questions that I was actually going to pose. Does controversial talk breed have some sort of link in knowledge of true self? Like, if I don't challenge you to think on another level, or if I don't challenge you to think outside of your comfort box, then I'm really not helping you. But where does that leave you?
If you want to take that first, or you want me to get in?
I'm actually thinking right now.
All right, I can get in it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I personally think, I would say, I personally think I cannot learn if I am not uncomfortable. And the reason being, and the reason I say that is, like, anytime you went to learn any new subject matter, it was uncomfortable because you didn't know it. You didn't understand what was being told to you. But the thing is we live in a society now where instantaneous gratification is more prevalent than wanting to learn. that I am not willing to put myself in an uncomfortable state in order to learn anything in most cases. Especially if it contradicts everything I've learned my entire life. Because there's another thing is I don't think people want to be fools.
They don't want to be wrong either.
That is right. So, so if I feel like I am, if I find out that I believe, like you said, you believe the sky was blue the entire time, and I've been told that, I've read that, I said, okay, it's based on how the sun reflects through all the color spectrum and all that stuff. And then new information comes out, they like, nope, that was false. You're now going to be like, well, damn, what else was I lied about?
Exactly. What else did you motherfuckers keep from me?
Yeah, exactly. So now it's like even then, like we go back. You ever notice that anything? For instance, how many people believe voodoo is evil? A lot. How many people believe masonry is all bad? A lot. How many people say, oh, the Illuminati and don't even know what they're talking about? Hell, the N-word. How many people associate the N-word with all negativity? If I call you nigga, you like, man, that was used against us X amount of years ago and this and that, blah, 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 and you're irritated and furious. But then when you start looking back and you're like, well, it meant something else at one point. It meant something positive at one point.
People do their research on it. I was watching, what was I watching? I think I was watching either Corey Holcomb show.
Right, so you probably was watching.
So what morning show? One of the two. Was, you know, Zoe be on Corey Holcomb 5150 show.
Yeah.
And the word, really the word nigger, niggers, whatever you want to say it, that's the watered down, the word version that we got today that's been passed down on us in the negative sense has been watered down so much and changed so much to mean negative. When the actual word, I forget how they pronounce it, I think it's negus.
Negus. Negus, Naga, all that stuff. You know, there's a bunch of different ones.
All of that. It means God. So to call me a nigger, whatever you want to call me, inadvertently is to call me God or a God. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to call me that, then I'm going to be like, say what you want to say, bro. I appreciate it. I can't take it negative half the time. Now don't be somebody coming at me trying to use it in such a forceful way to where you make me want to break your nose. That ain't the way to do it.
Hey man, that's just part of free speech.
Yeah.
Well, and in part,
ain't no such thing as free anything in this country. I'm being all the way real with this. Ain't no such thing as free anything. There's a difference between free and liberty. That's the difference. Because liberty, if you look up the definition, in the definition of the word liberty and in the definition of the word government is the same word, limits.
Yeah. To govern is to limit something.
Yeah. Freedom is just that. There's no gray area with freedom. That means completely free, completely devoid of any rules. But you can't have a world without rules. You got to have some kind of, and this is what I agree with. There needs to be some form of, I ain't gonna say government, but some form of
limitations.
Yeah, some form of limitation. Like you can do some stuff, but the people who try to live completely free, and like, man, I'm free to do whatever I want to do. I'm free to say whatever I want to say. Okay, keep believing that crap. Say what you want to say, and watch your ass don't end up in handcuffs.
Hey, man, Eric, man, go ahead. You got something to say?
Well, I mean, when it comes to like freedom of speech, I do think that you are free to say whatever it is that you want to say. Just keep in mind though that this is a medium of how you communicate information to somebody. So whoever you're communicating that to, it could it can backfire and has a consequence. So yeah, you can say what you want, but you might get punched in the face for it, or you may get shot behind it.